There are a bunch of blog posts online like this one. They have lists of a bunch of Italian food that isn't actually Italian. I never paid them very much attention until I found this one, which says that Sunday sauce, also known as ragu, isn't Italian. Ragu is about 1000% Italian. Because clearly the people who are writing this don't exactly know what they're talking about, I thought we'd ask an Italian. Time to play a little game.
So Harper, I have chosen 10 dishes that they maybe aren't Italian, or maybe yes, they're Italian. You should guess.
I need to guess what the truth is?
See, Harper. I'm starting, Harper, with some dishes that you should know because we made a video on those dishes.
Good thing my memory is completely infallible. Okay, I'm in. I think I'm gonna do well here. I know a bit about Italian food at this point.
I hope so. It's like 2 years.
Like several years of being in Italian food school. I should do pretty well, right?
We start with the famous spaghetti and meatball. Are spaghetti and meatball Italian?
Oh, you're starting real easy here. Even though this is a trick question, but I'm onto your tricks. Okay, so spaghetti and meatballs, as I would know it, being dry semolina spaghetti with big old meatballs and tomato sauce. That dish is not Italian. But, and here's why it's a trick. There is a dish in, is it Abruzzo, I think? Anyway, it's spaghetti, but it's spaghetti alla chitarra, which is a fresh egg spaghetti, and it's actually square spaghetti, and it tastes completely different than normal spaghetti, and it's paired with tiny little meatballs. So in that sense, spaghetti meatballs is Italian, but not in the way that I would think of spaghetti meatballs.
There is no doubt that you started, but it's true and isn't true. It's true because yes, we have in Abruzzo this spaghetti alla chitarra with very, very, very tiny meatballs that they call pallottine.
I knew it was Abruzzo.
But my dad, when he was a child, actually he ate spaghetti and meatball, which means dried spaghetti as we know with meatballs.
Your dad ate spaghetti with meatballs?
Yes, in the south of Italy, Harper, there was the tradition to eat spaghetti and meatballs, and it was a carnival dish.
Okay, everything I thought I knew is a lie, and I'm off to a really bad start. I thought I was gonna ace this.
But then nowadays we discover that maybe meatballs are much better with other shape of pasta, like for example tagliatelle. Tagliatelle and meatball, they are a must. So we decide to put on aside a very bad choice and keep going with a good choice because we are smart.
I do have to agree there. After you have tagliatelle with meatballs, it's real hard to go back. All right, I'm not doing great here already, but what's number two? What's my second dish?
The number two, Harper, is very, very easy.
Okay.
And it's the famous spaghetti alla Bolognese. Are they Italian?
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's very common in Italian restaurants here, pairing spaghetti with ragu alla Bolognese, which for those who aren't familiar, it's kind of a meat mince ragu. Now I'm worried because the spaghetti with meatballs really threw me for a loop. Here's what I know about spaghetti bolognese. In Bologna, not only would they never put their beloved ragu on spaghetti, they will also maybe hang you for doing so. However, this is another trick question. There is a dish called spaghetti alla bolognese, because alla bolognese just means like in the Bologna style, but it has nothing to do with their ragu. It's made with tuna.
In this case, you are pretty right, because the real spaghetti alla Bolognese are spaghetti with tuna fish in a can. Spaghetti with ragu alla Bolognese, it doesn't exist in Italy.
Well, it's sort of the same thing. It goes better with fresh egg pasta,
Absolutely,
like tagliatelle.
With tagliatelle, with pappardelle. It goes perfect with lasagna.
Why did you say I was pretty right?
In this case, you are pretty right.
It sounds like I was right. Period. Punto.
Yeah, sorry.
You said pretty right. I was expecting. I thought you were about to drop another bomb on me.
You're right. So the third dish is the very famous chicken.
Chicken parm. Okay.
Chicken parm, chicken parma, how do you call it?
The fact that you are asking me how you call it has sort of given away the game a little bit, hasn't it now? If it was Italian, you might not need to ask me what it's called.
No, but maybe you is like you change the word like Parmigiano and Parmesan.
Sure. Chicken parm. Chicken parm as it's served here, which is usually, so you know, it's like a fried cutlet of chicken, usually some melted cheese, some tomato sauce, but it's almost always served atop a big bed of pasta. And that would definitely not be done in Italy. However, the cutlet itself, the chicken itself, is totally like, it's like an Italian chicken cutlet. That isn't unusual in Italy at all. You would never serve it on top of pasta, but the cutlet itself is not unusual or un-Italian at all.
Which means that when you were in Italy, you saw a chicken cutlet with tomato sauce on top and cheese on top.
Okay, maybe I didn't see it with the cheese and the sauce.
Because maybe what you saw is just a piece of chicken fried.
Yeah, that does seem more like
So,
okay, so there's maybe some differences.
So chicken parm is not an Italian dish. We make chicken cutlet, but in the way in which you have here has nothing to do with the Italian word.
Can I get a half point for that one?
No, Alpe.
No?
No, Alpe, because it's just one thing that is the same.
I should have known that one too. You've made that for me. You literally made that for me. This is not looking good for me.
So Alpe number 4, and there is no way in which you can make a mistake on this dish, because also the Stones right now, they know the right answer.
The Stones?
Sì.
The Rolling Stones?
The Stones, I don't know if they roll or not. The Stones outside.
What do they have to do with it?
We are talking about the famous Fettuccine Alfredo. Are they Italian?
I love this one. First of all, because I love the dish. Second of all, because the story is great. Third of all, because there are a bunch of Italians who will get this wrong, but I know the answer. Fettuccine Alfredo, as we have it in the US, which is like a cream-based sauce, is quite far from Italian cuisine. And a lot of Italians, when they hear about Alfredo sauce, have never heard of it, don't know what it is, and so that has created the idea that this Alfredo sauce is not Italian. However, fettuccine al Alfredo, which is the original recipe, is very Italian. It was invented in Rome, and what's funny and ironic is that probably like every Italian has had it, because the sauce is just butter and Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, but they wouldn't know it as like Alfredo sauce, they would just know it as burro e Parmigiano.
What you said is all correct. So in this case, you really studied and your memory helped you a lot. So Fettuccine Alfredo, as you know, here in Italy, as you know, here in the US, with all the cream, and then also the version with chicken and the version with shrimps, has nothing to do with the original Italian dish. Fettuccine all'Alfredo is this Roman dish made with a very, very thin fettuccine, and they are very important because they need to cook for like 2 minutes, no more. Then it's also right, we Italians, when they say to us, but Fettuccine Alfredo is Italian. If you are not from Rome, you don't really know that the real name is Fettuccine Alfredo, but all of us ate at least once in life burro e Parmigiano, because when we are sick, we eat burro e Parmigiano. Is garlic bread Italian?
I remember you talking about this at some point. The garlic bread I would think of, which is like very buttery with a ton of garlic baked into it. I can't imagine that is Italian. I think that there's something similar. I feel like I remember you making something involving garlic and bread.
Now, Harper.
I don't feel like I'm gonna get a point for this one because I'm just kind of winging it here, but.
The garlic bread, as you know, here in America, isn't Italian. We have a bruschetta, a slice of bread that is a little bit roasted. We take a clove of garlic and we, how do you say?
I'm remembering now. Yeah, you just sort of rub it on the bread.
Perfect, and then we put on top maybe tomatoes, maybe some good olive oil. For us, that is garlic bread.
Do I get any kind of points for that?
No, Harper, 0. You said everything and nothing, which means nothing, so no, 0 point. So Harper, until now these dishes are pretty easy, we're pretty easy.
Not according to my scoreboard.
Now we start to do things in a very serious way.
Oh, good. But first, a quick word from today's video sponsor, so that I have some time to think about the right answers. According to this news article, the price of pasta is up 60%. That hurts. We're no financial planners, but like a lot of people, we're trying to make up for higher costs by investing our money, keeping it away from inflation, and hopefully letting it grow. A classic portfolio of 60% stocks and 40% bonds, like a lot of people have, is down 34% this year. That's the worst year in a century. What are major banks doing about this? They're putting billions of dollars into alternative investments, things that can actually be helped by inflation, like fine art. In fact, the last time that inflation was this high, fine art appreciated by 17.5% per year. That's better than real estate and stocks. Masterworks is a platform that lets people like us, people who aren't financial experts, we're maybe not art connoisseurs, but we can invest in shares of fine art. It's so cool because you can invest in legendary artists like Banksy, like Picasso. Just last week, Masterworks sold a painting for a 17.5% net return. In fact, all but one painting that Masterworks sold gave investors over 17% net returns. Because the demand is growing, Masterworks actually has a waiting list right now. But they're letting our viewers skip the line, so if you click the link down in the description below, you can start investing in art today. A big thank you to Masterworks for sponsoring today's video.
The next one is the famous Italian dressing.
So Italian dressing, I've never actually made it. I think, you know, it's like vinegar, olive oil, and then I think mostly just a bunch of seasoning, like probably some garlic and basil and oregano, stuff like that. After having visited almost every single region in Italy, I've never once seen it. Although on the other hand, now that I think about it, normally when I'm traveling Italy, I'm not really eating a lot of salads, to be honest. So I could be wrong. I'm gonna go with not Italian.
Yes, Harper is not Italian at all. Usually what you find on a table, also in a restaurant, is a small bottle of vinegar, a small bottle of olive oil, salt and pepper, which means that is at your choice what you can put of these 3 or 4 things in your salad.
You wouldn't have them all mixed together?
No. For example, on the caprese salad, we don't put all these things. We put just salt and olive oil. If you want to dress your salad as an Italian, take some olive oil and put on the salad, some vinegar, put on the salad, some salt, mix and eat. And you have your Italian home-style dressing.
Okay, ironically, as these get harder, I'm doing better. What's the next one?
So Harper, the next one involves fish. And I'm talking about shrimp scampi. Is this Italian?
I've never had shrimp scampi. But I'm pretty sure, help me out in the comments, that it's a kind of simple spaghetti dish with like sauteed shrimp, probably sauteed in olive oil and stuff. It's never looked particularly creamy, which is always the first dead giveaway that you wouldn't find it in Italy. I just have to have a feeling that there probably is an Italian, like simple shrimp pasta spaghetti dish. So I'm leaning towards this is Italian.
This shrimp scampi has Italian origin. Now here there is a little bit of confusion because we have a dish that is spaghetti con gli scampi or pasta con gli scampi, and scampo is a fish.
I'm sorry, scampi is a is a fish, is an animal?
Sì, scampo is an animal.
I thought it was like the name for the pasta.
No, Albert, it's an animal. It's an actual animal, lives in the sea, and they are pretty delicious too. What happens? It happens that the Italian immigrants, when they come to replicate their pasta with scampi, they start to use shrimp because they couldn't find here a scampi.
No kidding, I don't even know what a scampi is.
So they decide to call the dish shrimp scampi.
They're making their pasta with scampi, but with shrimp. So it's shrimp scampi. When we go to Italy next, will you show me what a scampi is?
So do you know that in Italy scampi are pretty expensive?
Are they?
It's a luxury food. Yes, but I can treat you with some luxury food in Italy. That's okay. We stay, Harper, still in the sea world. So the next dish is Cioppino.
Cioppino. That, if I'm not mistaken, is kind of a mixed seafood soup, stew. Maybe my memory is not so bad after all, because I actually remember in an interview we did a while back with our good friend Roger, shout out to him, he asked you,
is there a particular Italian American dish you're absolutely in love with?
and I remember you saying,
A seafood cioppino.
so I think that this is not an Italian dish, even though frankly it seems quite Italian.
Yes, Harper, it seems quite Italian because it's Italian.
It is?
See, and I discovered some months ago.
Oh, so you didn't even know it was
No,
Italian?
I don't know, because this cioppino, that is called in Italy cioppino, it is made in Liguria. The fishermen from Liguria who emigrated a lot of time ago in California, because cioppino is from San Francisco, they start to cook there with other fishes in another way, and then we think that cioppino is American, but actually is Italian. We go back to bread.
Okay.
So, is Muffuletta Italian?
So that is the big sandwich from New Orleans. Having seen quite a few Italian sandwiches, it doesn't seem very Italian. A lot of the Italian sandwiches we have in the US are very far from the Italian idea of a sandwich. We have these like big Italian subs and stuff that I've never seen in Italy. Totally different sandwich cultures. So I'm leaning towards not Italian.
Yes and not, Harper. Why they call this dish muffuletta, this sandwich muffuletta? Because actually back in Sicily the muffuletta is the bread. So in Sicily still now they make a small, how do you call, we call it actually.
It's like a bun. You made those for, yeah, I remember you made those for the, that like fried Sicilian chickpea
Pane e
thing.
panelle, Harper.
That.
It's not an Italian dish, but for sure it has Italian roots because
Yeah,
the
they took this
bread-
bread and I made a sandwich with muffuletta. Oh, let's call it a muffuletta sandwich.
Last but not least, the famous marinara sauce is actually Italian.
Ugh. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. You know, a marinara sauce here is a tomato sauce, but I think normally it has the addition of some ingredients that most people in Italy would not put in like a simple tomato sauce. Like I think it tends to almost have like kind of a sofrito, carrot and onion and stuff, more of the kind of stuff that you would put in like a heavier ragu, but we put in our marinara sauce. I think that's correct. So I think it's similar to like a tomato sauce you would make, but just maybe a little bit different, some variation. However, I'm also pretty sure that the term marinara means like ocean or sea, you know, marine. So I think that the word marinara comes from Italian, but I've never heard you call a tomato sauce marinara sauce.
So, it's Italian or not? After all these words.
I don't know. My answer is I think that the dish itself is not really Italian, but the term is.
The word marinara is Italian. Yes, Harper, marinara is an Italian word.
But you wouldn't apply it to just like a simple tomato sauce.
Allora, Harper, here the situation with marinara is a little bit more complicated than a normal tomato sauce.
Okay.
If you go to Italy and you ask for spaghetti alla marinara, you end up, in most of the case, eating a seafood spaghetti. But then you end up in Napoli. If you go to Napoli and you pronounce the name marinara, the word marinara, in most of the case, you will end up eating a pizza.
A pizza?
Yes, because one of the traditional and most ancient pizza in Napoli is pizza alla marinara.
Will it just be a pizza with tomato sauce on it?
Not quite just with tomato sauce.
Do you want to show me?
In Napoli there are several variations of this kind of pizza. I'm going to make one of the most common that use tomatoes, oregano, olive oil, garlic and anchovies.
Okay, my first pizza marinara. It smells really good.
Buon appetito!
Tastes better than it smells. The funny thing is, if I saw this on a menu in Naples, like pizza marinara, it's tomato sauce and anchovies, I'd be like, and I'd probably skip it. Honestly, not anymore.
It's too
It's
good.
really good.
And in simplicity, it's amazing. In some pizzerias, they do just tomato sauce, garlic and oregano. In some others, they put olives and capers. The idea is a pizza with a base of tomato sauce and no cheese at all. And it's amazing.
This is one of your best doughs, I would say. This came out extraordinarily well. We will put the link to Ava's pizza dough recipe down below. Also check out our merch store down below. You could pick yourself up an amazing fork twirl t-shirt just like this. Before we go, a quick shout out to a pasta grammarian named Samantha who made Ava's Thanksgiving stuffed turkey breast recipe from this video.
Brava Samantha!
Thanksgiving's right around the corner, so check it out if you don't want to cook an entire turkey. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
Ciao!
Okay, the next time we're in Naples, I'm ordering this. I thought, no cheese, no way. It's amazing. Make some more.